All right, this is part 3 of converting this Epson 8550 to DTF. All right, so in this part, I will be installing the CISS tank that I bought for this printer. All right, so in order to do that, we are going to have to take the cover off the side of this printer. So we're going to remove this cover right here. There's 3 screws that we're going to have to remove in order to get the cover off on the side. But this is the CISS tank that I bought. I purchased it from Ally Express. So I got it in it took about 2 weeks to get here. About 2.5 weeks at the most, but I think it was about 2 weeks. All right, so I'm removing the first screw. So the first screw is up under that little flap that's up under the paper holder or whatever you call it. So the first screw that we have to remove is under there. So remember, guys, I said try to use a magnetic screwdriver if you can, because they are our game changer in this process. Because if you drop those screws, it's just really going to be hard to get them up out of that printer. So just try to use a magnetic screwdriver. All right, so this is the second screw that we're going to remove. You have to lift up the cover of the printer, and it's going to be under the lid of that first the first ink tank. So that screw right there. So that's another part of the printer cover, or the side panel. So we're gonna have to remove that screw in order to take it out. So let's get that screw out. I think I might have to use a smaller screwdriver for this one. Let's see if it works. Let's try it. I don't know. No, I still think I'm gonna have to use a bigger screwdriver because I don't think this smaller one is going to work. I think it helped me loosen it a little bit. So let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we had to get a smaller screwdriver for this one. I thought the bigger one was gonna work. But yeah, so remove that screw so we can get that one off. See, I almost dropped that. See, that's why I said get a magnetic, because I almost dropped that one. And what if it had fell down up in there? Like, guys, that would have been so much to have to get it out. All right, so that's the second screw that we have to remove. So then there's going to be a third screw. So I'm going to just turn the printer around. But yeah, we're going to end up taking that little flap, that little side piece off right there. So we can, like, when we get ready to take it off, but I'll show y'all that in a second. All right, so we're going to take this third screw out. The third screw is up under, like, kind of at the bottom. I'm going to say up under, but it's like at the bottom of the printer, like where the little power cord goes and stuff. So there's a screw right there. You see it? We're going to have to remove that screw, and that's the third screw that we have to remove in order to take this side piece off. So I'm just removing that screw. And I think I'm going to have to use the bigger one for this one. Yeah. And look at that. Look at that magnetic screwdriver. Told y'all, them little things be coming in handy, y'all. All right, so so that little piece right there that I was telling you was going to have to remove. So I didn't remove the whole thing. I literally did try to, but with me holding this phone and trying to do that at the same time, I just said forget it. I didn't want to break it, so I didn't need both sides off anyway. So yeah, I'm just going to leave that like that. Because I don't have time. I ain't trying to break it. And just put it off to the side. So that way I can just remove the cover or the side panel, because I need to push it back. So when when you get ready to take the side piece off, you're just going to pull it out a little bit and then push it back. So pull it out and push it back, and it just should slide just right on off. So pull it out and push it back, and then it should come off. All right, because we're going to need to get closer to the ink tanks. That's why we're removing that side piece, and then we need to connect those hoses to the CISS tank. So that's why we're removing the cover or the side panel. But there's this black hose right here. I'm not exactly sure what it's for. I'm not going to mess with it like that. But I am going to pull it up a little bit to get to the hoses. So I just push the print head over. All right, and I am going to pull all of these hoses out. So I'm going to unconnect them from the ink tank, and it should be 6 of those, 6 little white hoses. All right, so it's going to be hard to do it with your finger. So the best thing to use for this is some tweezers. So, because I tried to pull it out with my hand, it was kind of hard. So we're going to use these tweezers right here to pull each one of these hoses out. So just be careful when you're pulling them out, so that way you won't like put a hole in your ink tank or whatever, or your hoses. So just be careful when you're using the tweezers to pull them out. But yeah, that's the first one. I mean, they're really not that hard like to get out, but you do have to make sure you get a good grip when you're pulling them out. So make sure you like grip the whole hose. Like right there, I was kind of scared, like, because it felt like I was going to put a hole in it. So that's why I say you just be careful and make sure you got a good grip on it and try to pull it all the way through. See, like how I'm gripping this, I just feel like I could have put a hole in it. So I'm thinking like when you pull them out, to make sure you put the tweezers on the hole all the way through, not halfway through. All right, if you know what I mean. All right, so I got 5 of them off. I'm going to remove this last one. So when I say all the way through, kind of like I did that last one, like pushed it all the way over and then pulled it out. So I won't put a hole in it. All right, so inside of the CISS tank box is going to come with this little bag right here. It has the long hose in it that we're just going to cut. We're going to have to cut it. And it comes with these connectors. That's not all, but this is what we're using. So I just cut the hose in half, and then I cut each one of the halves into 3 pieces. So that way I had 6 pieces in all. So yeah, you should have 6 pieces because you're going to cut it in half and then cut the halves into 3 pieces, 3 even pieces. All right, get them as equal as possible. They don't have to be, but try to get them as equal as possible. All right, and then we're going to get the connectors, and we are going to put them inside of the hose. But we want to, so it has a big end, like a wider end, and it has a smaller end. And we want to put the wider end inside of the tube, because we're going to connect the other end to our hoses. So we're going to put the wider end inside of the tube, just like this. All right, so just screwing it in, kind of pushing it in. So it's on. So that's the first one. All right, let's do another one. So remember, we are putting the wider end inside of the tube, because we want the smaller or the thinner end to go inside of the hoses, because it'll be really hard for us to try to put the hoses or that wider end inside of the hoses. I tried. That's how I figured that you put the wider end inside of the tube. All right, so I'm going to flip this one around, because that's when I tried to put it in and realized it didn't work like that, and I needed to put the wider end inside of the tube. So I'm just going to flip it in. I'm going to flip it around and just put it in like that. All right, so now I have all 6 done. So I'm going to be connecting these to all of those hoses. So I have 6 of these pieces, 6 tubes with the connector, and I'm going to connect each one of these to the hoses that are coming out.